Now we're going to add the hide tanning formula. We just let this sit in a bucket of warm water for about a half hour, just like it says on there. What we're going to do is we're going to turn this cased skin inside out, and we're going to smear this stuff all over the place with a little paintbrushy. I'm not doing anything special with this coon. There's not a lot of big holes in it, but there's a few small ones where the hair is poking through. So we're just going to go through, after we turn it inside out, tuck all of that hair on the other side just so we don't get any of that on that extra hair. And then we're going to apply the hide tanning formula. So let's get started. First things first, you're going to turn your coon inside out again. And if you can, try to expose as much of the mouth as you can. Get it up to where the nose cartilage is poking out. I always try to leave the whiskers inside, that way you make sure you don't get any extra oils on that. The less of a mess you can make, the easier it is to clean up. And plus, the less you get on the hair, the less you're going to kick yourself afterwards. You can see right here, this is one of the little spots where the fur is coming through, but before we start, we're just going to push all of that back in. Once again, we're using a Rubbermaid lid right here because it does have a ridge around the whole side. That way, if there's any spills, it's not going to go off this table or off to the side into any of my other tools or anything. But we're just going to lay our coonie nice and as flat as we can. And I guess we're going to start with the underbelly. Now, I gave the skin a little bit of time to dry out, so there's not a lot of water in it at this time. I did actually cheat just for the sake of making this video in a timely manner. I took a hair dryer just so I can get a lot of these steps done in one day and get this video shelled out as quick as I could. But otherwise, you would just usually let this sit overnight. Obviously, when you open it up, this skin is still going to be a little wet. And this is prime. It's not wet, but it's still soft, it's still moldable, it's still workable, and so that means those pores are going to be open, which means it's perfect conditions to accept the hide tanning formula. So we're just going to take as much of this hair as we can and shove it right back through. So, we got the belly done. Just going to flip them over as neat as we can. And I did go a little over the edges when I had the belly up, just so then I can see where I need to pick up from where I left off on the other side. nice thing about this hide tanning formula too is that you can give it time. We're going to give it time, but after you give it time, when it sets and you see that you missed a spot, it's very easy to touch up. All you need to do is take some warm water and a rag and just kind of dampen the skin in that area again to get it soft, because it will harden up. Get that hard patch of skin to soften up with some warm water and a rag or cloth or something. Get it nice and soft, and then just reapply this stuff. So, now that we have the entire skin covered, is once we get this, we're going to take our pins off, and then we're going to reach up, and we're going to pull the whole thing inside out one more time here. There we go. Perfect. And now we're just going to let them hang for about a day, just to let that oil zap right into the skin. And then after about 24 hours, we'll turn him inside out again, and we'll let it start to dry. And then as it's drying over the next, 2 to 3 days, it'll take about 2 to 3 days to dry. We're going to be stretching it as it dries. You're going to be breaking the skin, so when you take it and you stretch that skin out, you're going to see it turn white. That's all of the little skin fibers inside of the skin breaking. So that's why they call it breaking the hide, is because you're going in and you're breaking a lot of the fabric in the skin. And all that does is open up the skin a little bit more, lets more of that tanning solution in, so it works and sets really nice. And after a few days, it's going to be nice and soft. And then I'll show you how we go ahead and soften it up after that.